Welcome to another edition of a Wednesday Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Adam Baum. Alongside me here in the studio is Queen Kiera, and from Parts Unknown is the Bionic One, Brian. How you doing tonight, Kiera?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I am well. Brian, are you well?
Am I well? That's a very loaded question. There's so many different ways that you can answer it. I'm just going to say yes in the interest of time.
Good. Part of that, I know we do a Monday show where we talk about Raw, and you don't watch that one. But you do watch this one, don't you?
I do.
I don't know if I just want to pat myself on the back or what, but I feel like they booked tonight a little more like we've talked about in the past by giving some people the night off. And
I agree.
Not throwing everybody out there. It's a little overkill. And I thought it was a better show because of it.
That's actually a pretty good point. And I'm surprised you're saying that, considering we had not one, but two different trios matches.
Oh, there's still going to be some petty moments, Brian.
Okay.
All right. The trios and booking them as the two matches, I know there was a segment in between, but booking them back to back was even dumber. But we'll get there when we get to quick hits. Yeah. I've got 5 topics here I want to talk about before we get to quick hits. Kiera, I know to you CM Punk is Chicago made, but that's where we're going to start tonight for obvious reasons.
Cool. Down.
His promo tonight was good. Before we get into it, Brian and Kiera, I guess both of you for this one, I saw on Twitter, and it kind of upset me a little bit, where they were talking about how his pop tonight when he first came out wasn't near his pop from Friday. First off, duh.
We're keeping
fucking 7 years before we see him. Everybody's going to lose their fucking mind. And then part 2, he still had everybody like a puppeteering of a mob chanting his name. Hey, guys, quiet. I need to get Tony's question. You know, like, he was clearly still in complete fucking control of everything.
Right.
What did you guys think of it?
Do you mind if I start off real quick, Brian?
Ladies
Go
first.
for it. No.
I'm happy. It's like a happy medium. I want more of Punk right now, but I like what he's doing with his promos. He's making them short and sweet. He's getting right to the point. I mean, he threw some, what's your word you like to say, some Easter eggs out there.
I thought, there was the obvious Easter egg, be patient.
Yeah.
Right.
He definitely threw those out there. I mean, but I like it. It's making me want more. I mean, he's not giving us, like he said in his initial promo, he's like, we're not going to get down to everything right now, but I do have time. So I like where this is going. I like how he's pacing.
Brian, I want to talk to you about a couple of his other comments then, since Kiera covered the be patient. Let's cover the, hey, people back there, listen. So I'm retiring the voice of the voiceless moniker. What'd you think of that one?
Yeah, did we even make a joke last week about it, or maybe not last week? I don't know. Either way, I mean, it makes a lot of sense because, I mean, he's at this point in his career here, he's right. He's not the voice of the voiceless. I mean, and I understand that he was saying that it's the people, they're the voice, which I get it. I think that was a good point, but I love it. It makes total sense. And he's also changing. He's not just kind of resting on his laurels, if you will, and just kind of saying that he's the best in the world and going off of stuff that he used to do. Almost kind of taking a page out of Jericho's book. Almost how Jericho always kind of just like keeps moving on from gimmicks.
I think so. Not as bad as Matt Hardy, but definitely similar. DP
right.
And Stike are on our board, the YouTube live chat board, leading the lieutenant squad there. DP says Adam's spin doctoring like crazy tonight. The pops were night and day from Friday to night. I'm not spin doctoring. I'm flat out telling you that they were gonna be less. He was gone for 7 years. Friday is always going to be a bigger pop than tonight and every time he comes out in AEW. But AEW, to a certain extent, is it's like karaoke night. It's hard to judge a pop when they first come out because everybody's singing along. I I saw more people singing along than clapping. I saw more people with their phones recording. I know you can split hairs and say that I'm spin doctoring there, but I do agree with your point. He said the same thing he said Friday, but left out the WWE jab this time. Yeah, and he included the Easter egg about Daniel Bryan in the yes, yes, yes chant. And I don't know if you guys caught, but also he said be patient. He paused. And then he said September 5th, all out. I don't know if that was an intentional segue or if he was getting back on track with
maybe transition
his bullet points. Yeah.
I'm not sure. But actually, I caught that a little bit too. I mean, it's because I'm just anticipating so much, so who knows?
Surely, Brian, he would not say that if
No, I think no, he's not going to give it away, but I think they're treating this almost exactly how Punk's debut was, right? It was like the worst kept secret in wrestling. Everyone already knew that he was going to be showing up without them actually officially saying it. So that's kind of the way that I took this.
Stike says it's funny Punk likes to take shots at WWE, but WWE let him hold the title for 434 days.
Oh gosh, don't come in here with that.
Wait, no, that is a fair point. That is a fair point. When he left the company, he was the longest running champ. So I mean, you can't say that they didn't put him over. Now, you can and have to agree with Punk's point about never main eventing WrestleMania. Clearly being over as fuck as they get. So it's tough there. Stike says his disavowing this WWE existence was a slap in the face to Undertaker. By extension, he gave Punk a rub when he didn't have to. I mean, everybody gave him a rub to a certain extent, and that year, the only one who didn't was Dwayne, and that's really why Punk got so upset about the whole thing, is that that historic run was brought to an end by a part-timer, Brian. I mean, that's one of his bigger gripes with WWE, I feel.
What, his reign was by a part-timer? Whould you say?
Remember Dwayne?
Rock.
Remember Rock came back and took the title.
That's the goddamn Rock. You can't. I have a problem with part-timers, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's the fucking Rock.
And it wasn't that Rock's last ride, at least as a wrestler?
I think officially, yeah.
I think was that his last match?
No, not. He won the title. So, of course, he went to Mania and he fought Cena, and then they had the rematch the following year. I'm saying, was that the last ride?
Before that,
he hasn't fought since the back-to-back Cena Manias. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. MJ.
No, wait, didn't he come out? Didn't he fight Luke Harper? No, I'm sorry, not Luke Harper. Eric Rowan.
Rock.
Yeah.
Fuck if I know.
I'm not sure about that.
That's so forgettable. You could be right. Let's go back to the Punk thing.
Yeah.
He seemed very full of himself tonight, proving myself right and things like that. But to DP's point, he didn't really say anything new. And I'm not spin zoning when I say this, Brian. I think they wanted to make sure the Dynamite audience heard the same thing. It might have been extremely purposeful.
Okay, we can
tonight
go with that.
To do that. I'm not trying to justify him saying the same thing, but
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean, you're probably gaining your Wednesday night audience, right now, and I guess they're wanting to introduce, Punk's debut. Just to recap, pretty much what
go
he
for
said.
Another 3 million views on after the fact.
I do like the shout out that he gave to AJ. That was awesome. That was pretty cool.
April, I love you.
Yeah.
Lot of wife talk. Miro was talking about his wife too.
Miro. He's always talking about his wife.
Yeah.
What else did he say? He said he called Eddie a sinner.
Oh, we'll get
to
there.
Hold you under the river. There. Like
we're still here.
Sorry,
in
I know. I'm
the
getting ahead of
Punk
it.
land here. I feel like they were doing that because maybe, and this is why I can't shit on it honestly, DP. I complain all the time, Brian. Check the tape. You're my guy to prove this one. You're the one who always hears it. About how they don't take the context from Dark or Elevation and bring it to Dynamite and expect me to know what the fuck happened. Well, there is a chance somebody did not watch Rampage in its entirety or hear the whole promo in its entirety, even though 6 million watched and 5.6 on the other clip or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I can't say, why'd you do the same thing when that's what I've been saying you kind of need to do the whole time. Right, Brian? Make me a hypocrite.
So what you're saying that the story should carry over from Rampage to Dynamite? Is that what?
No.
Along?
I'm saying, like, just in case you missed it, they were putting it on both shows, and I've complained that if you only watch one,
I see.
You're gonna miss
they should
out.
Do a recap or something.
Yeah.
Right.
We talked a lot about CM Punk on our Monday show, so if you want to go back and rehash with the three of us alongside our lesser fourth roadie, you can do that. But we're going to move on to topic number 2 here because I think this has some stuff to unpack. And it didn't feel like it got the fanfare that it deserved, Brian, for what you're trying to say here. We're not talking about SummerSlam bullshit of Roman Reigns saying if he loses to Cena, he's leaving WWE. We're talking about not quite an old timer, but Jericho's at the end of his career for sure.
Yeah.
Putting his career on the line against MJF, and until they showed the graphic, I don't know that they were 100% clear that that's what was going to happen to the audience, and they're going to obviously confirm it next week when he's on with JR and stuff if the graphic wasn't enough for you. But do you believe that this was a good time to do this?
Well, I mean, full disclosure, yes, because Jericho's going on tour, so I would imagine this is their way of getting him off TV.
Right. And that in Kara, they don't do a lot of swerves when they put things on here. Most would probably think in a normal circumstance, Jericho putting his career on the line here means that he's going to win.
I don't know about that. This may be the end.
That's what, well, so do you believe it's the end? Because I believe it's what Brian says. He's going on tour. He'll be back.
Yeah, let me see how long he's going to be gone for. Sorry to ruin the fantasy of it, but
no,
yeah,
he's there with you, Brian. I think this is just a time off thing. They're not going to let MJF, who has owned Jericho, suddenly lose his undefeatedness to Jericho as a swan song here to keep him around instead of going to super spreader events.
But I wouldn't be upset if it was to MJF. I mean, that's just how I look at it.
So if this isn't a swerve and this is the end, because that was the other thing, I don't know if you caught, but Brian, they made it sound like it wouldn't be the end, that he would head to the announce table. They alluded to that 2 times at least.
Sure.
That his in-ring career would be over.
I mean, that would not shock me. Maybe he wouldn't be like full-time, like he's kind of been doing on Dynamite so far. I mean, now they've got all the talent in the world now. Plus, we know that there's going to be more coming, so that wouldn't surprise me. No, it wouldn't. And it says that he's looks as he's going to be on tour all throughout up until about early October, so about like a month and change.
But why would they tease that? Why would they? I'm sorry, Brian.
Oh no, you're fine. Well, he loses his match at All Out. He's off TV from when is it? The 5th. He's All Out the 5th.
Yeah, September 5th.
What is it?
September 5th.
Yeah, the 5th.
So now, Brian.
So yeah.
What if it's not to the announce desk? Kiara, you haven't been with us this whole time, but I've speculated for months and months and months that what AEW is really missing to help some of their feuds and some of their builds and some of the ways this things evolve into one-upmanship, they need a William Regal type of commissioner role or something like that. He's the latest one to do it right. That's why I say him. He's not necessarily the best of all time. What if Jericho becomes that? And he is given some kind of power from Tony Khan. No longer a wrestler, but now he can enact a little bit of revenge. It takes this feud with MJF to the next level. If you're going to put career on it, that should be the end, right? It's always the end if they lose. Not this time, though. And he could I mean, he's still got the gift of gab. Why not? That would be your reply, Brian.
I thought you were talking to Kiara. You said you were talking to Kiara.
I'm talking.
Oh, he was pointing.
Yeah,
it's all
sorry.
good.
I don't have a camera. I can't see you guys.
Oh, sorry. I forgot you don't have a camera. So, what do you think? Like, do you think there's any logic to that, or do you think I'm just pipe dreaming?
To be honest, I thought you were talking to Kiara, so I didn't listen to your whole question.
Kiara, fuck Brian. Can you answer me, please?
I can see Jericho. I can see him being in that type of position. I wouldn't mind it at all. He's great on the mic. I mean, he has a way with the crowd. I mean, he's a great host. I mean, ever since AEW, that's pretty much what I've been seeing in him. Besides, like, the in-ring ability. I mean, he's been kind of doing that already to me, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't mind that at all. It would actually be pretty cool.
I just think like having him come out just randomly, not every week.
Yeah. Doesn't
have to be an every week thing. So he could even continue his tour, Brian. But if he were promoted to a general manager, commissioner, whatever the fuck you want to call it, role, I think he could do it very well, because I think he could settle some grudges by being a purposeful, like, asshole to somebody like MJF. And then he could just do his job in the situation like you got with the Bucks and, wanting to do a cage match kind of thing.
I just feel like that's like really WWE for them to have like a is
it WWE
GM type of role.
That wasn't Callis that way at Impact? Wasn't Jarrett that way at TNA? Wasn't Flair?
Oh yeah, and I'm not giving them. I'm not saying that I like it, but all those companies. I mean, it's very WWE thing to do, right? I mean, Vince was the evil boss. That's kind of where it started.
First to do it.
Say it again.
Was WWE really the first to do it?
No. I guess you're as a heel owner,
as anybody,
like a heel GM character,
anybody that comes out. I mean, yeah, I remember Jack Tunney when I was young, but that's not what we're talking about anymore. We're not talking about.
Well, he was face. He was a baby face too. He didn't really have like any kind of
Bischoff
motives or anything.
Bischoff was a heel GM. Wasn't Heyman a heel GM?
Bischoff was. I don't think. No, Heyman wasn't really a heel. Are you talking about an ECW? He wasn't really a heel.
Paulie Dangerously wasn't a heel.
He was.
Really, Brian?
Well, okay.
You're gonna fucking argue that one with me? He looked like an '80s coke dealer with the cell phone and the ponytail and the suit. Don't give me that shit. He wasn't really a heel. Paul E. Dangerously is a fucking heel, Brian.
Yeah, I never saw him any other way.
Oh my god.
Wait, but you're talking about an ECW though.
Where else was Paul E. Dangerously?
I mean,
just
he was
because
part of
everybody
the Dangerous
loved
Alliance.
ECW and might have cheered him
WCW.
on, doesn't mean that he wasn't a heel. You can get cheers and be a heel, Brian.
What did he do that was a heel in ECW?
He didn't pay his talent.
Okay, that's a very heel. Right. Yeah. That's a very heel.
I win.
I don't see it as I was thinking about what Brian just said about he sees the whole general manager thing as very WWE like. I see it more so like maybe it's a general promotion thing. Maybe it's a general
That's what I think.
Thing.
Yeah.
I think all wrestling companies and
all companies need an authority, dude.
Need something like that. Yeah. Well, they need like a matchmaker. I wouldn't say they need like an authority that needs to be part of a bigger storyline.
But don't you think usually it has different titles for
everybody needs a booker, Brian.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a booker. I'm talking about the character. The character that comes out when you're at a standstill, or the character that needs to evolve. All feuds should not have the two competitors decide our next step is this. Mm-hmm. Our next step is this. The MJF Jericho doesn't need a moderator. But what the fuck do you think Callis is with Omega and Christian, or Omega and whoever? He's acting like the moderator. You might as well have someone that has some true power come out and just do that. I don't think that's it. Everybody wants to say things are WWE and whatever. They had no fucking competition for so long, Brian.
True.
That, of course, everything in recent memory is WWE. That
Well, I
doesn't
mean, you
mean
could say
that
the
you
same thing
can't
about
change
like
the game by
talent too.
doing
When
it
everyone
better.
makes fun of AEW's talent, they're like, "Oh, they're all WWE." Yeah, no shit, because they're only fucking game in town for like 20 plus years.
Yeah. I'm not. That was Rob and some Twitter people. I get it. Somebody put up the All Out poster. It had 17 people on it. They said 11
saw
were
that.
WWE. Who the fuck cares? 11 talented athletes fucking said bye Vince and got on a poster somewhere else. I'm sure that there's 11 people on the Impact poster for their next pay-per-view.
If we want to get really technical and really petty about it, I mean, a lot of those WWE wrestlers did come from other promotions prior to WWE, like Ring of Honor, places like that. I mean,
yeah,
that's how I look at it.
Exactly.
OVW wasn't the only farm system.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, didn't Impact just, we haven't found out officially, but has 2 new signees, Brian?
Yeah, and Stike is throwing that on the board as well. Braun Strowman and Buddy Matthews, as he goes by now, not Buddy Murphy, but apparently they have been rumored to sign to Impact, which is interesting.
And everybody said nobody's gonna want Braun because of the comments he made about bingo halls and stuff. Well,
catch me up on that. What was
guess
that?
what? Braun made comments. This was a long time ago, not when he was unemployed. I'm sure he changed his tune, but
it was during COVID. It was right when COVID started.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, he basically was like, yeah, these indie wrestlers, blah blah blah. He just talked so much shit that we thought he would get Rybacked out in the middle of nowhere. Get Munson. You know about being.
But
Munson.
he alienated like the entire industry outside of WWE, and now it's funny that he's outside of that WWE bubble. That's why everyone was like, "Oh, finally, fuck him. He deserves it."
And he got signed.
Yeah, well, good for him.
Stike says Heyman was SmackDown general manager heel in 03 and 04. No, we were talking about outside of WWE. Stike.
Yeah.
Bad stat boy.
Come on.
Bad. All right, let's move on. Number 3 is it's that fucking predictable tag team eliminator tournament, round number 1 on the bottom side. It's the Varsity Blondes, who aren't gonna win, but Julia Hart looks good. And the Lucha Bros. This was not a great match, Brian.
He was already shaking his head.
Well, I was shaking my head at his Julia Hart comment, but
What are you saying? She doesn't look good?
no, she's a good wrestler. She looks good in the ring.
Yeah. See, there you go. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you saw this one, Kira?
I did not see that.
It was at the fucking beginning of the show.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed that. I must have been in between, like, changing something out. I don't know.
Brian, I want to preface what I'm about to say.
You're not changing diapers anymore, are you?
No,
diapers
for Rob.
It's back to school.
Yeah.
Back to school time. So.
Old man dysentery.
What were you saying, Adam?
So the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah.
I want to preface my statement here. I'm making this statement because, in my opinion, they've moved the bar pretty high of level of expectation of their ring work.
Okay.
And I don't want to necessarily put all the blame on the Varsity Blondes. This was not a good showing for the Lucha Brothers. Probably one of the worst. DP even hits a home run on the board. He says Varsity Blondes put on a good match. Lucha Brothers did not. I don't know about the Varsity Blondes, if they were the cause or what, to part of it, but the Lucha Brothers were off, Brian. This was not the match that I would have thought from them.
Yeah, from them. I mean, it could just be that the chemistry between them and the other team just wasn't there tonight. I mean, because obviously we know Lucha Brothers have it, But that's interesting that Stike would. Who was that? Stike or DP that said that?
That was DP.
DP. He said that the Varsity Blondes had a good match, which is that's encouraging. I love.
I mean,
Pillman Jr. I think he's fucking phenomenal.
It was the Lucha Brothers moves that always were the ones that didn't connect. So he might be 100% right. I don't know if they were off or what, but they did. It was not great. What was even worse is the fucking Bucks have to be out here. You want to talk about petty, Kara? I don't know if you heard me earlier say how I was happy that some people were off TV and they seem to be spreading out.
Yeah.
Fucking Bucks.
Every week.
Bucks have to be out there every goddamn week to do the same shit. They don't even know what heel heat is at this point because everybody just hates them.
That makes me sad.
That means they're doing their job.
No. Fucking Don Callis and Kenny Omega are doing their fucking job, Brian. That's heel heat. I hate both of them for all the right reasons. Like,
the difference.
Yeah. So outside of character, I'm cool. I can go have a beer with Kenny and Don. Outside of character, I still want to run the Bucks over.
But I mean, they said hi to you. They talked to you guys at Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
You know, they didn't tell you guys to go fuck
that
off.
Was before they force fed us and took these titles from FTR, which they had never. FTR's title run is a fucking joke because they didn't have one. They lost it instantly to the Bucks, and the Bucks are horrible.
Oh my God,
they're horrible.
I don't even know how you could say that.
You have got to, in this day and age, Brian, and you want to talk about professional wrestling and all these AEW people that hate WWE. You want to talk about professional wrestling, real professional wrestling, and both of you have in-ring experience. I have a no-sell table bump. That's all my claim to fame. But you have to tell a fucking story. Mm-hmm. And no selling tells no fucking story.
They're not the only ones that no sell, though.
They're the ones who do it every single week, week in and week out. Yeah, Sting no sold his table bump last week. But has Sting had a fucking 30-year career of selling? Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Brian,
Undertaker
the Bucks
no
have a
sells
20-year
things,
career of not selling. Generation
Goldberg
is a good name for them because that's all they care about is me.
DP says this is my Buck intervention right now.
I mean,
you haven't been here. The Bucks hijacked
let's hear from Kiara. What does Kiara think about the Bucks? Do you like the Bucks?
I love the Bucks. I mean, and to the marked out world, just to let you know, like I'm catching up on a lot of wrestling right now. So
yeah, you've been out of it for a little bit. Not out of it, right? I mean, you've obviously still been watching.
I catch up on a lot of storylines and characters.
Sure.
But with saying all that, I love the Bucks, but I keep hearing this week after week with Adam and with Rob about the Young Bucks. Let me just say this: there are a number of wrestlers, like you just said, Brian, that no sell, but they can still manage to tell a story. I know that may sound, I don't know, contradicting, but that is very possible. The Bucks have always been able to tell a story for me. You know, regardless of them no selling.
Yeah.
That's just.
It's
not seeing it that way?
It's the story. I mean, I'm being super whatever over the top with it on the whole no selling, but there's no story. Hogan used to no sell. Brian's talking to the people on the board. Fuck you. Hogan would Hulk up. That was part of the fucking story. It's what Kiara was just saying. And also, DP's point, when Sting used to sell, it was for a reason. Like when he shrugged off Flair's chops. It was, that's a comeback, Brian. The Bucks are never on a comeback. They're like, ow, I didn't sell that move. Why should I sell this one? Oh, tell a story?
Well, they're the heels.
Here's our story. Generation me. That's what they care about. They almost even, they should just point their fingers when they do their little pose and just point at themselves. Because that's all that matters. No, they're not fun. And every fucking week, I've got to watch them come out, whether they have a match or not. And who follows like fucking, hey, Spike. It's the fucking Good Brothers just to take a bump. That's awesome. Wow, I'm glad we wasted the fucking Good Brothers here to just take bumps for the no-sell kings.
I mean, Brian, does he have a point at all? What he's saying, like that's.
Oh man, no! Because it's not like the Bucks invented the no-sell party. If that's what you want to, I don't even know if that's what you called it. I don't even think you said that, but I'm gonna make it up right now anyway.
I've called it that before.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah, good. No, because they're not the first ones to do it, and they're certainly not the last ones to do it. I think this is just him, he's he's buying into their characters, and they're winning, and he can't accept the fact that they're doing their jobs right.
They're not. They're not doing their jobs even well, let alone right.
Oh my God.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
I gotta move on. I hate the Bucks. They always hijack my show. I thought we were having a good one. Let's bring it back on track. Let's talk about the absence of Cody Rhodes. Yes. We have Malachi Black versus Brock Anderson. I got nothing bad to say about this whole thing, Brian, except I do have 2 petty points. One, what the fuck is this doing as the main event? 2, Lee Johnson with the fucking latest save in All Mankind. Both fucking Brock and Arn are laid out unconscious. Not Alistair. Malachi is sitting, blasphemy. Malachi is just sitting in the corner looking at the 2 unconscious Andersons. And that's when Lee Johnson's like, here I come, man. I'm going to protect you guys. Like, dude, you are so late. You need smelling salts is what you need to be running out there with.
It is weird that was the main event. You are right about that.
And can we talk also about the fact that Lee Johnson is so goddamn late?
Yeah, what was he doing? Like, where was he? They were getting the shit kicked out of him.
Were they supposed to go off TV and that was supposed to be like a dark moment? I mean, I'm not even sure.
Make it make sense.
Like he ran out before Brandon Cutler could come out with the T-shirts.
Right, like before they were off the air. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, and DP, I didn't even think about this because I was so weird about Lee Johnson showing up late. He says, "Why is Malachi Black running from Lee Johnson?" Yeah, it wasn't like he came out with Dustin or 6 other people. He just comes out by himself, way late to the party. Black should have knocked his ass out too. I don't know. It was weird, but I do like the fact that there was no Cody here because I said to Brian when this started, Kara, like, oh, the only reason fucking Brock Anderson and Malachi Black is the main event is because Cody wants to close the show.
Yeah.
But you can't do that without your boots.
Right.
She don't know.
Well,
he left his boots in the ring a couple weeks ago.
He retired.
Apparently, he's retired to go on the roads.
Can you guys indulge me for a second? Like, what happened to Cody? What's going on?
He had a baby. He has a reality show. And he's just overbooked, so he's gonna retire for a minute.
Says Adam. No, I mean he is a little,
Dude,
he's all over the show.
Kara can chime in. You can't hear. When you get a 1-year-old in that first year, till they get the 1 year, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And if it's your first kid, the second one you got a little bit of routine.
Oh yeah.
That first one, you don't fucking know shit.
Overwhelming.
You don't speak, baby. You crying? You hungry? No. You need change? No. You need burp? No. What do you want?
Sleep deprivation, all of that stuff.
You need to sleep? No. What the fuck? I don't speak, baby. Rosetta Stone for baby and Rosetta Stone for dogs. That needs to be the next hurdle we cross. Back on topic though. Malachi, I like being in the main event. I just don't like Brock with a Lee Johnson appearance here. I don't feel that they furthered that story enough to close the show out with it.
I'm with you.
Not a bad booking, just in its position. The elephant in the room, Brian, before we get to quick hits. My topic number 5. 2 trio matches in the last half of Dynamite. 2. Not 1, but 2. And 1 is a hodgepodge mess. We got Kingston, Mox, and Darby with Sting ringside to go against Cesar Bonani and his wingmen, which is Ryan Nemeth and JD I Eat the Pin Drake.
Hey, be nice.
I was. I was, Brian. I say that because JD Drake's a lot more talented than Eating the Pin, Brian. So I say that with with shade on them booking him to always eat the pin. And then we got the Gun Club versus the Factory. Whew. Talk about not giving a fuck matches. And I want to start with the first one, the Darby versus the Wingmen. I don't know if you guys caught it and checked the tape and go back, but the fans that were on camera were more concerned with what was going on with Kingston, Mox, and Sting on the outside. I don't think any of them even saw the cool move that Darby did just on Drake to set up the coffin drop. You know, he kind of skinned the cat on his back and then came out on a stunner on the front and then goes into the coffin drop. Most of the heads on camera were turned to the side watching Sting and Mox go at it over there. Am I reading into this too much to go, nobody cares about Darby? Even AEW fans, because they would rather, instead of watching the pin and the finisher in the ring, would rather watch those silly-ass punches that Mox was given and Sting chasing Bonani around.
No, you're reading too much into it. Of course.
Am I?
Yeah, AEW fans love Darby. They love him.
I wasn't, by the way, I was not saying whether or not he was over or not. Okay. I'm saying Darby is your crown prince here, so to speak, the heir apparent of all the new talent they have that's homegrown, picked by CM Punk as the first opponent. CM Punk named him. This is the guy I came back to put over, or whatever the fuck euphemism you want to add in metaphor in there. CM Punk listed him there. And here he is with his finisher. And nobody's watching in the front row.
I don't know, Adam. I think it sounds like he's reading. It sounds like he may be reading too much into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's talk about the other one, Brian. The Gun Club versus the Factory.
Do we have to?
QT Marshall, he loses because the Big Show took off his headphones. Yep, I'm calling him the Big Show. Seriously? QT lost on a distraction of the threat of Big Show removing his headphones. He didn't start to head down to the ring, Brian. He wasn't coming down. He wasn't even talking smack. He literally, I watched this to make sure I was right. He just took his headphones off. And that was enough of a distraction for QT Marshall to eat a pin.
Yeah, man, because he's that much in his head. QT is petrified of having a match against Paul White.
I mean,
is it working for you?
Paul White on commentary is not working for me, but I don't want to see him wrestling anymore at all.
Gotcha.
Do you?
Come on, one match every now and again isn't going to hurt anyone.
That's Paul White,
no,
by the way.
I know his real name.
Well, you said show with a question mark.
Well, I lost track for a second, but anyway, I mean, let's see where it goes.
All right. I'm not looking forward to Big Show.
Out
of all this great... Wait, hold on. I want to go back to you with this. Okay. Out of all these great things that are going on in AEW right now, is Big Show's return to the ring one of them?
Who knows? He might be...
Don't play the politics game. All the good things that AEW is doing right now. Is Big Show one of the ones you're excited about?
To see Show in the ring? No, he's not at the top of my list. No.
Thank you.
He's not at the top of my list.
And it is his dream match to come out of retirement for you with QT Marshall?
Yes.
I mean,
just say yes.
Like, call it what you want. No, call it what you want about Punk and Darby. I'm not a huge fan of Darby here, but like you both said, he's over. Okay?
Correct.
So if you're going to come back and have a match of consequence to put somebody over or not, even if it's just a rub by being on the same level of him, fine. Punk can probably still go. Big Show is old and slow, and we've seen too many nut shots. And he's fighting QT Marshall. If QT doesn't win, it's horrible. Like, there's no reason that Paul White needs a win. There's no reason that Paul White needs to go in the ring. They have plenty of name ID talent, Brian, across the board, not just ex-WWE guys. Plenty of talent across the board. They don't need this to be that guy. Fucking, why isn't that Archer? Wardlow. You want to, Archer's kind of quasi-face, right now.
Yeah, but you can't have Paul White come in and lose his first match either, right?
No, but you shouldn't have him wrestle, period. What's next, Mark Henry?
Yeah, he already said he's going to be having a match.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it.
I gotta move on. Match.
I gotta move on. This show is so good, and we're stuck in the shitville aspects of it. So let's talk about some other stuff. Quick hit time, Brian. Carrie, you ready? You guys just jump in if you want to talk about these. Okay. We started off curtain match, Matt Hardy, OC. All I got written here for 3 words is, oh, the blood. Did OC's ear bleed again? What was that?
No, Hardy got busted open. I think it was like there was like a DDT spot.
Because it was all over Hardy's mouth, but it was also, I remember, didn't Orange Cassidy get like an ear shot, was bleeding everywhere at one point? I thought maybe that got busted back open.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Okay, so I'm not.
That was a while ago though. Wasn't it?
Right. It was, but I thought maybe it was bad luck twice.
No, I'm pretty sure that was Hardy.
All right, so either way, they're both bleeders. We have Jamie Hayter, aka Britt Baker's stand-in, fighting Velvet. I don't have the music queued up for Raw. Careless Whisper, Velvet. This is kind of obvious that Jamie Hayter was going to win here, Brian. It's not so much a squash, but it's the setup. Where they're going with All Out is Statlander comes out and attacks Britt, runs her off. Statlander's undefeated. Statlander had a bit of a rocket ship strapped to her back, Brian, before she got hurt, and it appears that they put it back on her now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the way that they booked her last week. Yeah, I mean, it's good. They need that extra jolt in the women's division because they definitely were missing her. When she got hurt, I wouldn't have thought that she would have been like missed as much as she was to the roster because I thought, she's young, she's a newer name, but like they definitely could have used her, and to have her back, I think it's definitely great for the division overall.
Yeah, I think Red Velvet might be related to Brandy Rhodes or something because I got to agree with Daniel Price here, and you know this, Kara, from your in-ring work. He said Velvet's going to wind up hurting herself or someone else for real. She's very green, and you know from training, you gotta land right. You gotta get someone over. I mean, talk about what happens when that doesn't exist.
I mean, it's not only dangerous for yourself, but you can hurt your opponent as well, the person you're working with, and people are not gonna want to trust you to work with in the future. That can create a bad rep for you. I personally, just to speak on Velvet, I haven't watched her that many matches with her since she's been in AEW.
Because you're jealous. You don't want your man likes her.
Whatever.
Is that what it is?
But I have to like check her out and see what's going on because prior to AEW, I mean, I heard great things.
Yeah, there's a Twitter handle called AEW Botches, and sadly, Red Velvet's on almost every one of them. She is a common theme in a lot of the botches that we see out of the women's division right now, Brian. Just pointing that out. It's just a numbers thing. Miro. I want to talk about, we had Miro calling out the Mad King, Eddie Kingston, claiming he's the Redeemer, dropping, bombs about his wife, just out there. Oh, I'm going to thank her. Is this official yet, Brian? Is this actually a match at All Out, Eddie Kingston and Miro?
It seems that way. I don't think they've officially announced it, but no, that seems to be what they're going for. Which fucking hell yes, I am all about that.
I am too. Now Miro's one, Kara. He has not wrestled on TV in a minute. He's been cutting promos. He's been staying relevant. But that's part of why I can't wait for this. I need to see that man back in the ring.
Okay.
You have no idea the difference in him. And this biblical character, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm not all in on it, Brian, but I'm not all out either.
Right. No, I mean, it's cool. He's apparently he's a very religious person outside of the ring. So to see him bring that in here, it definitely means that he's like bringing his own like stuff to the table, if that makes sense.
Good.
Like he's invested in his character, is a better way to say it.
Good. You need to go back and watch that promo. I think you were dealing with your children at the time. Another good one. Bunny and Tay apparently are gonna have a match next week. This is a perfect kind of. Yeah, this is a perfect Dynamite feud for the women's division. Like it doesn't need to be, a pay-per-view or long-term feud. This is a nice little one set up here. You want to join me? Oh, you don't? Slap. Let's fight next week. Simple.
Yeah.
The women don't need a whole lot, and I like Bunny and Ty. I think they're good at what their roles are. I mean, I don't see Britt Baker levels out of either one of them. That's not to say they can't achieve that, but.
Is it just me, or I don't see, like, with the women's division of AEW, trying not to compare, but something I've noticed that's kind of obvious. I don't see that much dialogue. I mean, there's dialogue here and there between the women's division, with the feuds, but it's not so much where it's just pushed in your face and over the top and dramatic. I mean, they say what they have to say, and then they're out.
It depends. Some are over the top and dramatic.
Okay.
Nyla Rose being too much of that. I don't think Vicky was the help they thought she'd be. Next quick hit, Brian. Omega and Christian. You think you know me? Omega taunting him with Edge's. I don't even know what it is. The opening phrase of his theme song.
Yeah, it's not even like a taunt that he used to do or anything or say, but
he dropped it twice to make sure everybody caught it. This was fine, but it was also unneeded tonight. I know Kenny's your champ and you want to trot him out, but this was too much retread. Yeah, we know Christian booked Don. By doing this story a little bit more in depth, yes, they showed the video highlights, which was cool, but by doubling down and doing it again, it's making it feel like it's more of a Don Christian feud. Am I wrong to think that them focusing on that aspect is making it seem that way?
That's a question for you, Brian.
Oh, I thought he was talking to you, Kira.
She's a Padawan. She's just getting her feet wet again. She doesn't have the history. You and I have the history.
No, I wouldn't say that was a thing with. You said that was a shot against. The feud is with Callis and Christian.
Tonight, by the second time about the whole booking and whatever, it made it feel more about Callis and Christian than it did about Omega. Like Omega is, instead of Callis being Omega's mouthpiece, tonight it felt like Omega
was a mouthpiece for Callis, right?
No, it felt like Omega. No, I was going to say Omega is the heavy. He's just, I'm the talker. I'm going to send you to go do my fights.
Interesting.
Not the champion that Kenny's supposed to be here.
Right. Nah, that's just him kind of just being like that smarmy, just heel that's just trying to hide and stuff.
But normally it's got the right balance. Tonight it felt imbalanced. Sure. You saw the.
I kind of noticed that. It was a little off. I don't know how to. I really don't know how to put it, but I see what you're saying.
Was Kenny stoned? That's why he didn't have a ton of lines?
I mean, he could have been. Yeah, I don't know his schedule
policy
or his habits
is to get stoned
or his interests.
Let me see. I got two more quick hits. Men of the year.
His hobbies.
The guy was throwing some shade. I can't remember his name every week. Brian, you have to tell me that dude's name.
Ethan Page?
Sure. No, I know Ethan Page.
Scorpio
I know
Sky?
Who's the other dude that was talking?
Dan Lambert.
Dan Lambert. Yeah, it's such a shitty name. Why would I remember it?
That's his real name?
What were some of the lines he dropped tonight? Marilyn Manson and Tony Hawk had a kid. That it would be Darby. He clearly was reading from a cue card. First off, why fucking Scorpio Sky has been reduced to doing this? Yeah,
because they're the men of the year.
I mean, it was entertaining to me just to hear him.
He's a dual black belt, and you're gonna make it seem like a big deal, but he just sits back there. Then there's fucking Karate Man.
Yeah, Karate Man.
All right, last quick hit is the probably not quickest of hits, but it's the one that maybe should be expanded on a little bit. Is Dark Order in turmoil, Brian?
I mean, that was an interesting thing where they said that, that Uno wasn't the leader, but I honestly think that this is just a more longer play at I almost called him Bray Wyatt. I don't even know what the fuck he's. I guess Wyndham Rotunda. Because that would also make sense if they started planting seeds to have him bring him in and him become like the newest, I guess, guy that's sort of leading. Because honestly, I don't really think they'll ever bring in a new leader for Dark Order.
Why not? Because
just with Brody, you can get around it by saying like something like, he doesn't have to be the official leader, but
here's the thing, Brian. Here's where it's got to come to a head. They either got to break up or get another leader. I mean, it's not. You have to move on.
Yeah.
Would they be a faction without a leader? Would it be complete?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are they complete without a leader? And if it's not Eric Rowan, it should be somebody else that was close to Brody.
Oh, totally. Yep. Yeah, I 100% agree.
And so I think Bray makes some good sense. And fuck, man, he has to not use his real name. Wyndham Rotunda is a terrible, terrible wrestling name. Kira, help me out. That doesn't roll off the tongue at all.
Going on with that name, I don't know about that one.
Wyndham Rotunda. Okay, I guess it works from the announcer's perspective, but for the people that want to talk casually, be like, "Oh, do you see that match between Cody Rhodes and Wyndham Rotunda?" That doesn't even sound like a real thing. Whatever I just said.
Right.
Say Wyndham for short. It still doesn't roll off.
Barry Windham sounded okay. Mike Rotunda sounded okay because you got some weird ass name with a normal name. Yeah. You can't do them both. Wyndham Rotunda. That poor bastard probably never had a chance growing up. I'm sure kids teased him over that name. Do not use your real name. He does own the rights to Fiend.
Yes.
He owns a trademark. He owns everything. But Fiend couldn't be a leader of Dark Order.
No.
Well, not the Fiend, but he's not going to be.
So he would be Firefly Funhouse Bray backstage as the leader, and in the ring he's Fiend. I mean, would they try to still do that duality?
That's a good question.
You're saying work in Dark Order?
Yeah. I mean, because if he's the leader, he's got to be closer to Bray or Firefly Funhouse Bray. He's got the whole world in his hands. Yeah. But if he's just Fiend, he can't be the leader of anything.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a solo thing, definitely.
And I don't know how much you know about TNA, but Brian, if he is just Fiend, I want his ass booked like Abyss from the TNA days.
Yeah, you have to make him a monster. And AEW, they don't really have any kind of monster right now.
Book him like Abyss. Abyss was only 6'7", 6'8", but in TNA land, he was a fucking monster, and he was booked perfectly. He had the Full Metal Mayhem. He always had to have weapons take him down. No nut shots. Like Abyss went from being a fucking Kane ripoff to booked extremely well. I don't know about that fucking Park shit at the end, where he was just coming out without any of it and on a tracksuit. That was weird.
Right.
But Abyss was done right, even if that man wasn't treated right. Anything on the board about Dark Order and being leaderless?
Yeah, DP's just saying he can go old school and combine the guy that inspired his original gimmick with his stage name, Braylon Merciless, which I was like, that's actually pretty good. Braylon
I don't have any thoughts one way or the other about Braylon Merciless, but that sounds like a better name to roll off the tongue than fucking Wyndham Rotunda.
Yeah. Plus, it gives a little nod to, well, I wonder if he even wants to do that. Like fucking, what was it, Mercy the Buzzard? Was that what it was? Or, which I guess was a nod to Waylon Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
But
I hope he still has the
anywho.
Vince puppet if he does that.
Oh my God, that would be great.
You know, just alter it slightly enough so that they can't be sued. That would be amazing. The reason why AEW doesn't have any monsters is because all of them got buried by Cody. Oh, if I had my sound effects up going tonight, that is a Roddy.
And a Joey.
Excellent. A Joey and this is a Butcher.
And a Butcher.
Where is the Butcher been?
He's hurt.
Oh.
Surgery.
So a lot of those tag teams that we don't see right now are half hurt. Best friends with their fake Trent that they wheeled out tonight. He's got a point, Trent. Though. Cody, buried Brody, even though Brody won at first. He buried him. Cody buried Archer. Cody lost MJF, but he buried Wardlow along the way. I don't remember. He fought Hager. He buried him. Let's end the show on this one, Brian, because Kiera can chime in because she knows the other half of this. For years and years and years, everybody's been so mad at and his golden shovel. And for years and years, and actually all of the years of AEW since it's existent, that's what Cody's done. But everybody like, oh, we love everything. Golden Shovel Rhodes. It's not John Cena anymore. Hasn't been John Cena for a long time. It's Cody Rhodes.
There you have it.
Feel free to disagree with me. I just made my case. I ran down the list. I didn't even bring up people like QT Marshall.
Cody Rhodes is what? The monster of AEW?
No. I said Cody Rhodes is the golden shovel.
Oh, well,
just by the statement right there about no monsters that Stike said, he's right, man. He's right. He did lose to Brody initially, but that was just to go film a show.
He lost to Malachi.
Maybe he was just.
He didn't lose to
Malachi.
This is a long game story. Let me know if he loses the feud to Malachi.
Well,
the only feud he lost, the only person he has legitimately put over is fucking
Brandy Rhodes.
Is MJF. Well, yeah.
Oh.
How do you run a company?
He definitely put Brandy on top.
How do you run a company and still try to remain in character and be a part of storylines? That's got to be. I'm just taking all of that.
And he's come out a couple times. I know I whined about the commissioner, and he's come out a couple times and acted like he's that. Like, oh, I'm gonna make a big announcement.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm this important, but I'm also gonna fight you later on.
Right.
Like Kenny Omega, out of the 4, Kenny Omega has been booked perfectly from the inception of AEW, Brian, till now. Kenny Omega got cheers when he should have gotten cheers. He's getting full on fucking heel heat now. Kenny Omega has been, and I hate to say it, he's a goofy motherfucker, but he's been booked perfectly. The Bucks fucking hate him. Wish I never saw them. And Cody should have taken a play. I'm going to do it again since Brian doesn't want me to compare to WWE. He should have taken a play from Jeff Jarrett's playbook in TNA. Stayed away from the title at first. Don't create a second one for yourself after you pretend like you stayed away from the title because you lost to MJF. We'll create a second title and win it twice before anyone else really owns it once. He should have, and he also should win hook or crook, not clean. He should walk around like Jarrett. He should have been the super heel long before the Bucks or Kenny would. It seems so natural to hate the fucking boss. To give reason. Walk around, look at me. I'm using Dynamite for my gender reveal party. Look at me. I'm using Dynamite to have a signing like boxing where we're going to have a weigh-in and it's me and Hager. And, oh, yeah, this is cool. Look at me. I'm going to do this. Look at me. I'm going to do that. Look at me. It's all about me. I come out there. The whole fucking stage comes apart for my entrance. He's got heel everything written all over him, Brian. He should be booked for true heel heat, not a face that everybody doesn't want.
Well, I mean, he's got TV shows to sell and to shoot. So
Miz is full on fucking heel. I'm going to Miz and Mrs. here, not WWE, so it's a loophole. But Miz is full on heel, and he has a show to sell. Stephanie, Kiera's cousin, says she smelled like money, but she's a full on philanthropist for good causes. She's a fucking shit heel all over TV. That's just a character. You don't hide behind that, Brian. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. That's Bush League. You're better than that. That's all Elite Hour talk. This is a Wednesday night show that has no name.
Yeah.
Get your shit together, buddy.
Yeah.
In any event, let's just wrap this up. I found Dynamite, aside from the Bucks, very enjoyable tonight.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it too.
Brian, closing thoughts on what you think?
I enjoyed this episode. I really did. I didn't think they didn't go over the top again with Punk's promo. I thought it fit in with the show. The only thing I will say is that the two trios matches back to back, I thought that was a little odd as well. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty solid show.
I definitely think they're booking better. I have no idea who Kojima. Yeah. I have no idea who that is.
I didn't even know
oh man,
Mox is pulling another Japanese legend out to fight. I didn't know Yugi Nagata.
Yep. Satoshi,
I got it right.
Kojima. He's been a champion in New Japan, AJPW tag team champion in NWA. He's been all over.
Yugi, the match of Yugi and Mox. You didn't watch this, but you should. That one was a little bit slower. It was at more Ambrose speed than Mox speed, and it was partially because Yugi is fairly old, but you could tell, Brian. This is why I hate the Bucks. You could tell a story with that match. Yugi Nagata, even if he couldn't move like he probably once could when he was prime, he was still an expert fucking storyteller in between those ropes. And
right.
And I never heard of him, and I really appreciated that match, Brian, because of the story was, So I'm excited for Kojima being similar, but I'm excited for it because of what Yugi Nagata did. Like, I want to be told a story. That's one of the best fucking things about Kevin Owens, still to this day, no matter where he's wrestled. He fucking tells a story in every one of his matches. I love it. Even a 5-minute match, he can stay. It's just right. So good. Rocky, you are late as fuck. He says, I watched it all the way through. There's just too many cooks in the kitchen, in the booth. I agree with that. You do not need 3 announcers. You don't need 4. And they had Big Show on commentary. They need to split up their announce teams by show, I think.
Yeah, they've got enough shows to do that.
Yeah. You have JR stay on Dynamite, send Excalibur to Rampage. I don't know. Something needs to change a little bit.
Yeah.
And the anticlimactic main event, that was Rocky's adding to the one thing. So the 2 trios, the Bucks and the main event, which would have been good booked anywhere else. I hope Rocky is along with us on that. But, it is what it is. We're going to have to – they're going to have to not have so many cooks in the kitchen, Brian. Someone needs to take the lead.
I agree.
Even if it's not in a commissioner role we see. But backstage, they need a Dusty Rhodes kind of scenario where somebody takes the control back there, the booking, and knows how it's done. Yeah. I mean, somebody has to do it right now. They have too much fucking talent to not have a fucking war room where they have things plotted out down the road. Yeah. I mean, we're All Out looks fucking fire right now. I am so excited about El Idolo and Pac. I'm looking forward to Jericho and Jericho and MJF, I've seen it so many times, I really don't care there. And Christian and Omega, I know we saw it once already, but that was one of the best matches of the year, so I'm okay with round 2 there. I'm not as excited as I am about some of the other stuff, but I'm excited, like I said, about Mox. I don't even know his freaking opponent. I'm excited there. I like Miro and Kingston. That should be a good match. All Out shaping up to be, and obviously Punk versus Darby. All Out shaping up to be pretty big, and I think we get a Daniel Bryan appearance there as well. Rocky says too much, too fast. They're going all in, Rocky. If you've ever played poker with your friends and you got to get home late, it's at midnight, you're like, I'm going to play fast and loose and try and get everybody out. That's what they're doing here. I like that we're doing a women's battle royal. And, you know, Daniel Price agrees with Rocky. I agree with both of you guys, but I'm optimistic. I think that it's been a lot and they're going to run out of surprises and they need to start, you know, investing into the core of their roster and everything and really start, you know, doing some banger storylines, not just banger matches. But I'm holding out hope, maybe because of Brian, maybe because Kiera's here. But I'm holding out hope that they'll be able to do it right.
Yeah, I think so.
Hell yeah.
You can't just say they're going to fail until they fail.
Right. I'm enjoying the ride so far.
Right.
So.
Thank you. That's the comment we want to have there. Enjoy the ride. Maybe that should be our show. You like that, Brian? Enjoy the ride?
I like it.
All right. It probably won't stick. But if it did, you can tune in next week. Same mark time, same smart channel. Oh, I got to hit a button.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye.
Oh.
I'll get you on the flip-flop.
Gotta say bye, Kiera. Fans, wow, Brian just peaced out fast.
Oh, peace out.
Mark Out Podcast is produced and edited by U-Record Studios and is recorded live from Charlotte, North Carolina. Subscribe, follow, and listen to us live following WWE programming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Download the podcast by following us at podbean.com or subscribe on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. While you're there, go ahead and give us an honest and fair review and rating. Finally, if you have enjoyed our product and would like to see us grow, please donate to us by visiting the donation link below our live video, or you can donate via Venmo and Cash App at the handle Ravepro. That's RAVEPRO.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.